video for the archives of NFIB, because the history that Ivo has in his head of NFIB that we all aren't fully aware of is amazing. So with that said, we're really privileged, Ivo, and thank you for taking the time to come here. I'm certainly honored to be able to sit up here and introduce you to the group, and I know Steve wants to say a couple words. For those that don't know, Ivo and Steve go way back, and we also have something for you.
We go back 33 years. Ivo was the division manager.
Do I have to stand
No.
up? Or do I kneel?
I'll actually help you.
Do I stand up or do I kneel?
No. Ivo was the division manager. It was a real honor to work with you all of those years. You retired in 1990, and that's the year I came to Washington. So there was no connection there. I don't know why. But he, back when we were in New York, we had 32,000 members. There's 12,000 now, so that shows you what's happened since he left, and I moved to Washington.
I started with 0.
It is a great story about Ivo and how he, you may have seen in the email that we sent around that he's from Czechoslovakia. That's not a Syracuse accent. That's a Czechoslovakia. And I'll never forget the first time he told me the story about how he left Czechoslovakia. It was 1950. What year?
1948.
48. Okay. And I forget how old you were, a teenager at the time.
Yeah, it was.
I'll let you tell the story. But anyway, he ended up in America with pennies. Is that right?
1 cent. 1
cent. And made a very successful life in sales and 50 years with NFIB. And one of the honors that the field has, which they hold in highest regard, is the Hall of Fame. And I'm told that you were retiring about the time they came up with the Hall of Fame. So your best years were behind you, and you never qualified from the numbers. But boy, for 50 years,
I qualified.
You qualify now. So this is a presentation to add you to the NFIB Hall of Fame.
And I do appreciate it very much. About the award, tell them that that guy must be the slowest salesman because it took him half a century to get a point. The 10 sales, I mean 10 points. You see, Hall of Fame required 10 points. I actually had them at the very beginning, but I had 1 point for President's Club as a salesman and 1 point as a division manager. And somebody that loved me, that if I be ruled that it could be either one or the other. Therefore I had 9 points. But it didn't bother me. I figured it's one of those things. I had fun selling NFIB, so what do I care? I do love this though.
There's a lot of philosophies we have in sales, and you wonder where they came from. And just from listening to you right now, it's very clear where many of them came from. And I glanced over at Randy for a moment, and we kind of then came to the same conclusion. But one, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. I was just getting it ready.
So it's just amazing the impact of one person has on a culture when you teach some people, and they in turn teach others, and so forth. And the clip that we have is from the founder of the CFIB up in Canada, because we sent Ivo up there, Wilson Johnson did, to train them on how to do this business. So when you hear the voice of John Bullock, just know that that's their founder. You guys are very close friends.
They're good fishermen too.
Yeah. And so this is John Bullock on some thoughts of Ivo's.
Ivo, it's John Bullock calling from Canada. Mary and I are so pleased to see your lifetime achievement at NFIB being properly recognized. And Mary and I really loved having you and Nan visit us in August at our home. We certainly share some wonderful memories together. I remember you as the top renewal district manager at NFIB in 1971, and how you used to close sales at the level of about 50 a week and only 4 days work. I remember all the tips you gave us in recruiting and selecting and training of district managers, as we called them in those days. And I remember in particular the various ways that you recruited salespeople without even using ads back in the 70s. And I certainly will never forget your keynote address at the Washington Conference in 1976. And in particular, Ivo, I remember how you combined passion, organizational skills, and a keen intellect in a lifetime of achievement at NFIB. Congratulations, Ivo. We love you and Nan in the same way we love the National Federation of Independent Business. Goodbye and good luck. And this is a special message from John and Mary Bullock.
Thank you very much.
I think Danner wanted to say some words as well.
I just want to welcome you.
Listen, let me tell you something. I'm glad to see you up here. Let me tell you something. I saw that bullet. I said, "Oh, dinner."
Very kind. We've had an opportunity to talk on the phone, but not to meet in person. So I'm so delighted you could be with us today
I'm glad to
the
be
next
here.
couple of days. And you are an inspiration for all of us. And I'm sure for all the people out in the field, so we're.
You know what? I inspire myself to. Every morning I get up, and I've been teaching my children and my grandchildren. Every morning I get up, I say it's going to be a wonderful day. Sometimes I lie to myself. It's a lot of it. But you got to be positive, and I think NFIB is a positive force. And
You know, people ask us sometimes why we do what we do and what we stand for. And, you know, you make us proud for what we stand for and why we're here doing this every day. So,
thank you, Dan.
thank you.
I sure appreciate it.
Evo, there's one other person who couldn't be here today, but I talked to him and he sent me this to say to you. Al Fikert is a legend in NFIB for those of you who are not in sales. He was the first sales rep to bring in an excess of $200,000 in 1 year. We named an award after him, the Al Fikert Award, which is now gone by its side because $200,000 isn't that much anymore. But he wanted me to tell you this. He said, from Al Fikert, 23 years of service with NFIB and 17 years retired to the Outer Banks of North Carolina, a land of ocean, sounds, boating, fishing, swimming, golf, and total relaxation. Ivo Marsak was salesman, manager, neighbor, fishing buddy, and continues to be my mentor. When Ivo recruited me way back when, Bill Hatch was his manager, and Ivo and I were next door neighbors. Ivo came over one Friday afternoon with a bunch of checks in one hand and a roll of bills in the other hand that would choke a horse. And Ivo said, "See what you're missing?" The image of that roll of bills is still in my head. Ivo's famous trait to his friends and members was his distinctive Czechoslovakian BS. Well, now, is Ivo all BS? Absolutely not. Ivo uses silence better than any salesman I have ever known. Silence forces the member to respond. I am sure with my tenacity, and if I had Ivo's Czechoslovakian moxie, I would be a millionaire now. So God bless Ivo and Nan and their children, and God bless us all. Al Fikert.